Hello, Stitchy friends. Welcome back to my channel that has been very neglected for a very long time. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these videos, so you'll have to bear with me because I feel like I'm brand new again. If you have been a subscriber, thank you so much for staying subscribed. I really appreciate you being very patient with me while I figured all this out again. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jen, or also known as Miska Cat on all the social media platforms. This is my YouTube channel about cross-stitching and other unrelated / related crafts, I guess. Since it's been so long since I've done this, I figured I would catch everybody up on what has happened. I have been doing a lot of stitching, a lot of knitting, and I've had several finishes since, 2018, 2019, and I figured that might be a nice reintroduction to my channel, and I would show you all the things that I finished, or at least most of the things that I have finished since then. There's been some big ones, so most of my finishes are in this lovely box. They are in absolutely no particular order, so I'm just going to kind of reach in and I'm just going to grab from whatever's at the top, and hopefully you will see everything that I've finished in the last couple years. Hopefully there will be no repeats, but I can't promise anything because it's been a really long time. So, first things at the top are a couple Mill Hill kits. This is a buttons and beads kit that I did. Again, I'm really sorry. It's been a while, so I don't remember the name. I'm pretty sure it was probably a Halloween chart of some sort. Several years ago I finished this, so this is not a new one. It's got tons of beads in it. The back button, the paper got kind of worn while I was working on it, but you will not be able to see this, once I get it framed nonetheless, because that's what I do here. This is why all my finishes are in a box, because I am a definite FFOer. The next one I remember, because I just recently finished this. This is Spooky Gate by Mill Hill. And this one didn't actually have a ton of beads in it. It's pretty much just got them along the sides and on the bottom here. There is nothing in the middle. It is just straight full coverage stitching on this one. And I will say that I think this actually looks better on camera. That path is actually kind of hard to see in real life, but I love the sky. Let's do a couple more small ones. And I am gonna apologize. Nothing is ironed or whatnot else. These are actually a couple ornaments. These are in the, what was it? World of Cross Stitching magazine? I'm not sure which issue, but I have 2 of the 4 done. That guy and this guy is done. All 4 were in the same issue, and they just turned out so cute. I'm gonna finish the other 2, and then I'm gonna probably turn them all into ornaments when they're all done. So, since I am really bad at knowing where a lot of these smaller things came from, if you have any questions, please feel free to just leave a comment, and I will do the best that I can to find out where said pattern came from, because things and stuff, We'll do another FFO. This is, I want to say Nevermore, possibly, by, heck, I'm not even going to try. But I changed all the colors on this. Yeah, I changed all the colors to specialty threads that I just had in stash. This is a piece of Murky, I believe. I'm pretty sure that is Murky by Picture This Plus. And I just turned it into a little pillow. I love that this color just matched and it was just simple. I put some cording on it and made a little pillow in the back because it's kind of a weird shape. So that is that guy. So this one I also just recently finished. This is Seasons by the Sea by Jeanette Douglas. This was 4 individual patterns, and you can stitch them either all together as recommended, or you can stitch them all individually. So this is what the whole thing looks like. And you can buy the thread packs and the whatnot else, but a lot of them were used in all 4 designs, so I just bought full skeins and kitted up myself. Not sure that was the smartest, most economical way to do it, but that's what I did anyways. So let's show you here. This is the autumn one. That would be, which one is that? This one is summer. Winter is in the corner. And then, sorry, spring is in the corner and winter is in the corner. I'm not sure what it was, but winter gave me such a hard time. I probably stitched the whole chart probably twice to get it like properly done. But I love the center. The center is just too cool. And there's some beads in there. Just a few beads, but if you've never done any of Jeanette's charts, they're amazing. I love them. They're just so much fun. There's just different stitches that you do and you don't normally do in patterns, and I quite enjoy them. So the next one I will show you is a full coverage. I'm pretty sure this was not done when I was filming Flosstube. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs, charted by Michelle Seda. Artwork is by Stephanie Poumon-La. This is White Ninetail Fox, I believe. That is the whole thing. And I love her artwork. It's so pretty. And this is just a Story Keep size. He's so cool. And I love the blues. This, I believe, I stitched 2/1. I believe this is 32 count. She's stiff. But I love it. Love it. Okay, the next one that I finished, well, not the next one that I finished, but the next one in my tub of finishes. This is sunflower seeds, I believe. This was a fundraiser for Ukraine. And you bought the chart, I think it was like $5, and then all the proceeds got donated to fighting the war overseas. So this is the finished. And I love this. And this one, I'm not sure what I stitched this on. I don't have the tag. Probably some Picture This Plus something, something, something. But sorry for the big crease in the middle, but I really love the way that this turned out. Oh, you know what I could do? There we go. That kind of helps. Very happy with this. It really didn't take that long, but I really enjoyed stitching that one as well. I'm not sure. I feel like this one was shown in one of my whip parades before, but I will throw it up again because I love it. This is a chart by Nimu, and all of their chart names are in French, so I'm not sure exactly what this one is called, but this is also stitched on a piece of murky, which is a very popular fabric choice, I believe. I see lots of people using it. And it's just so cute. I love the little fishbone. He's so cute. Okay, I'll show you some other small ones. These are some mice by Jisnan. And there is Birthday Mouse. That is definitely not the name of it, but that's what I'm gonna call it for the purpose of this video. And she's just so cute with her little balloon. So there's that one. There is Witchy Mouse. I think this is Witchy Mouse's sister, if I'm correct. But I could be totally wrong as well. And she's very cute as well. And then I have another, I think this is the original Witchy Mouse. I feel like this was the first one that I did. And they're just like super easy to stitch up. The finishing is a little fiddly, but it's not too bad. And I have a couple of her owls. I think this one is called Mr. Nutley, if I'm correct. His little acorn cap. So he's cute. And then I have this one as well. This one, the crown fell off and got lost, and so I was grateful enough to find a crown bead, and it just so happens it is pretty much a perfect fit for her. So she got a new crown, sewn on, not just pinned on with a bead or a pin like recommended by the pattern. But she is obviously very sparkly with her eyeballs. Okay, so next one. This is called Be Like a Crow. This is, well, I can't remember. Again, not even gonna try. This is stitched on a piece of 40 count silk fabric. It's got a bit of a twist to it, or it needs to be restretched out properly. This is stitched, I believe, 1/1 on 40 count silk gauze, and it is tent stitched. It is super tiny, but I love it. This one I used the called for threads, and yeah, really happy with the way it turned out. I love the striping of the background. It's so subtle, but I love that it's there. This was also a relatively new finish. This is called Halloween Quilt. This is by Rosewood Manor. And I love Rosewood Manor. I'm not usually a Quaker type stitcher, but I love their patterns. I have several of them. And this is how it turned out. It is just super colorful. But there's a lot of detail in those blocks and a lot of color changes. If you've ever done a Rosewood Manor, you know the color changes are real. Like even in this bottom band, like the back stitching is all like different colors, and but that's what makes their patterns so amazing, I believe. So this one, I believe, has been seen. These ones have, you know what? These ones have not, why not? These ones have not been done in the last few years. These ones I started and completed before I ever did Flosstube, but I've never shown them off. This is Lavender and Lace. This is Spirit Dancer, I believe. Or is the other one Spirit Dancer? Ugh, I'm just a mess. I don't know what's going on. But this was completed, oh my goodness, like so back in the day. Like I probably was like 18 when I finished this. Like that's how old this is. But I love it. It's so cool. I love the dream catcher part. It's amazing. So I finished that one. And I've also finished the counterpart, which is this one. And she is equally as amazing. That necklace, I remember thinking was intense beating at the time. And this one as well, I probably finished when I was like 17, 18 years old. Like, these are old. Like, this was also back in the day where your options to stitch things were like Precious Moments and teddy bears. So I've dated myself. So these were like amazing when they came out, and they still are amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, like they're beautiful, but like I remember back in the day that was like the supreme, like the best cross stitch at the time. This one as well, I also completed when I was relatively young. The skin is not done 1/1. It is stitched as charted, and I remember being really upset at the time because I could not find the called for fabric. and had to go with a substitute. And I remember being really upset that it wasn't going to be perfect. And again, knowing now what I know then, this is Mermaid of the Pearls by Mirabilia. And I remember I had done all the stitching, and that didn't take very long because at the time I only stitched one thing at a time. And not doing the skin over one, like this actually really didn't take that long to stitch, but the beading, however, took forever. And I waited and I waited and I waited, because the beading is just so intense in this part. Like that is pretty much like straight beads. Ew, I'm doing a terrible job. See, I'm brand new at this all over again. So this is another oldie chart. Well, not oldie chart, but finished like a million years ago chart. What else have I got in my bag of goodies here? This one is Paladin. This is by I'm really trying. I can't remember. Oh, Dragon Wing something. Again, if you really want to know the pattern, just send me a message. And I'm sorry, my light is getting really bad. But this is Paladin. I stitched this 1/1 on Crystal Ancient by Picture This Plus with a hand-dyed silk from Vicky Clayton Silk is where I got the thread from. And he's just so tiny. There's 3 others, and I was going to do them all in like a element color. So this was supposed to be my fire dragon. The name of the pattern is like on the tip of my tongue. I just can't remember. This is what happens when you get old. You forget things, especially when you don't see them for like a million years. Okay, the next one I have is, this is a 32 count Lugana Opalescent Rock Quarry by Silkweaver. So you probably will never be able to order this fabric. If you know, you know. This is Crow's Lullaby. This is by Primitive Needle. And this fabric is so sparkly. Like, it's intense. This is what the whole piece looks like. It is very long. And I stitched this in 2 different colors of silk. The lettering is in a Gloriana, and the crows and the branch and the moon and whatnot else are in a Jodre silk, I believe. I can't see if you can see. Hopefully you can see this, because I can't see what you're seeing. And honestly, I hemmed and hawed with this one. I almost like pulled it out so many times because I was not super happy with the way that it was looking, but I'm glad I stuck with it. And think it turned out okay in the end. Again, like everything else in my life, I just need to get it finished and up on the wall. One of these years. One of these years. Okay, next up is going to be Coffee Quaker. This was a very popular chart by Heartstring Samplery. I remember everybody was stitching this chart back in the day. And I changed all the thread colors to what I had in stash. I tried to pick ones that were like espresso and coffee bean and stuff like that, but not everything does have a coffee name to it, but that's what I was kind of trying for. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Let's see. Nope. I don't remember what fabric this is. Probably a 32 count, something. Pictureless Plus, something. I know, I'm terrible. That hasn't changed. I still don't keep track of anything, unless the tag is on it. This is another little finish. This is another coffee chart. I believe it was like a blackboard, supposed to be like a blackboard chart or whatever, but I stitched on the same fabric as the Coffee Quaker, and they're supposed to match and go in my kitchen. And this was, I believe, just a little kit. I think it was by Janlin, possibly. But it turned out super cute. What else do I have in here? So this was a little finish that I had. This was a New Year start and a New Year January 2nd, I think, finish. It did not take very long. This is by Clouds Factory. This is Mexican band or mariachi band, little mariachi band, I believe. And this is just so cute. And this was just so fast to stitch, and I love their charts. I have quite a few of them. I really want to do the scary movie or the Halloween horror movie one. And even though there's like a lot of color changes in some of these, like they still stitch up just so fast. But the plan is to turn this into a pillow for my husband. I bought this really cute pom-pom fabric, which I think would just go like super cute around the outside of it. So it'll kind of look like that when it's done. Oh, so cute. I just need to, again, do it. My spare time. In my spare time. So I also I can't remember if I was working on this one or not. This is another Clouds Factory chart. This is Granddaughters of the Witches. This is the dark version. I also stitched the light version. I stitched it on like 32 count, 36 count, like 1/1. And it just turned out like so super tiny. It turned out to be like a 4x6. It was just like minuscule. And it's just so cute. But I kept the purple version for myself. And at the time, I was actually going to stitch like this 2 more times at least. I was going to stitch an orange version and a green version, and I had certain people that I was going to gift them to, and I had good intentions. I had really, really good intentions. Stitching it twice, I think that's enough. What else do I have in here? I don't believe this one was done. I believe I was working on this one when I was filming last. This is by Plum Street Samplers. Something. I want to say Golden Afternoon, but that's Alice in Wonderland. But this chart actually makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. Let's try this. Just because of the quote at the bottom. In the movie, Alice ends up saying that to, I believe the caterpillar, she says that poem. And this one I stitched 1/1. I believe this is a 32 count fabric by Picture This Plus as well. It's a little bit yellowy and it's got some blue in it. Anyways, I love it. Ugh. I love it. It's so cute. That little pineapple is just like the best thing. That and the duck on the leash, or chicken on the leash. Love it. I have more Plum Street Sampler pieces that are on my to-do pile. They're kit up and ready to go. I just need to do them along with everything else. The next one here is going to be a sampler. This is from Stitchy Princess Black on Etsy. She's a Ukrainian designer. This was the very first chart that I got from her, and I love it. It's these cute little Easter rabbits, and those carrots are like the best thing. I just love them. The carrots are the whole reason I bought this chart, and I think I stitched this in like a week. I just had so much fun with it. Again, I'm not sure of the stitch count. It is probably a 32 count. Probably just an, I don't know, neutral. It's a neutral color. Nothing fancy. But I love it. What else do we have in here? Oh, okay, we're getting to some ones that I remember I was working on when Flosstube for me at that time was kind of wrapping up. I had set myself some goals to finish some certain projects, and I did. And I was quite happy with accomplishing those, because I remember one of them specifically I was not thoroughly enjoying working on, actually two of them, but I am very happy that they are done. This is a blackwork piece by Elizabeth Almond, and this was called Pandora's Box. There are different blocks, so some are cross stitch, some are blackwork, some are I can't remember the word for it, Azizi, I believe. There's some pulled thread work in there, and I remember struggling a lot with this piece. And I'm so happy it is done. And I remember I had very good intentions to turn this into a pillow. As you can see, I still have very good intentions on turning this into a pillow. But I stitched this on probably 28 or 32 count black even weave. I can't remember. I used some Gentle Art sampler threads, I believe, for stitching it, and then one variegated. And this was how it turned out. I think the owls are probably my favorite. But after doing this one, I am definitely not a blackwork person. It is too much like backstitching, and I don't quite enjoy it that much. But again, happy that it's done. The other one that I was kind of struggling to finish at the time was this Stitch Along by Durian Jones. I stitched this on Crystal Pansy. It's a 32 count Belfast by Picture This Plus. And I was struggling to get this done as well. This was the Fantasy Sal. And while I absolutely love some of the blocks, some of them I just was not too crazy about. So that is what it looks like when it's done. I changed all the threads to specialty stitches, hand-dyed threads that I had in my stash. They are a mix of cotton and silks. I don't have a problem mixing the two. But yeah, it's a really cute design, but it's not something I would probably ever have like on my wall. Like, I don't have kids. I don't have like anybody I think that would appreciate this. Like, I'm happy I did it. It was nice, easy stitching. It was nice to use up some of those threads that I had in my stash, but for the most part, like, sorry. For the most part, it is not something that I would really have in my house. And I think that was like the biggest thing with it, is that I wouldn't hang it up anywhere. I wouldn't invest the money on framing it. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? So I'm happy it's done. It turned out really cute, but I just not really sure what to do with it now. So it lives in my box. This one I absolutely love. This one I remember having to start several times. This is Halloween Quaker by again, names escape me. I also stitched this on a piece of 32 count Rock Quarry. This is by Silk Weaver. I actually really love this fabric. I'm just so sad that Silk Weaver is just so hard to deal with, because I love this fabric. It is a gorgeous color. It reminds me a little bit of murky, but not quite so murky. But it's a great moody fabric. I love it. And this is how this one turned out. That tree is the best thing. I love that tree. However, I believe the pattern called for 2 skeins of whatever color the tree is stitched out of. I needed a third, and you can definitely tell where there is a dye lot issue. Like right here, you can definitely tell that the black is not as black, but whatever. It is done. That cat, the leaves, I love the white, the way the white looks on here. And this one I remember I started stitching it, and I was stitching it, I cut the fabric too small, so I had to restart it. I had to buy new fabric. And at that point, you could get fabric from Silk Weaver, but not so much anymore. But I love it. I'm so happy with this. I have There was another chart that came out shortly after this one, and it's very similar. It's very moody as well too. I can't remember what it's called. I know McKenna was stitching it and she finished it, so that again is on my to-do list. I have all the threads for it. I just need to find fabric and find the time to start it. So, you know, it'll happen. The next one I will show you, this is a stitch along as well too. Again, designers, it's been so long. This was a stitch along. I really enjoyed doing this. Oop. This one we got to pick our own colors and color scheme, and that is the whole piece. And it's just got some specialty stitches. It's got some pulled thread work. It has some beads. I remember the center hands I recharted because the original ones were a little bit blocky, and I tried to even them out just a little bit. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun to do too. I really enjoy doing like band samplers where there's like pulled thread work and like even little bits of heart hanger I don't mind. This one was a finish by Blackbird Designs. I know lots of people have stitched this one. This one is called Away We Ride. And I stitched this on probably a 28 count khaki, I believe is what it is. And that is the finished piece. I remember that border taking forever, but I love it. I love this chart. Wow. I didn't think 40 minutes later I would still be talking about whips. Haven't even got to the big ones yet. This was a little finish by a, oh, what is it called? This was a kit. And I remember I had lost my stitching bug and I really wasn't feeling like stitching anything. And I thought, I'll just start something new. I'll start something small and see if that will reignite my stitching. And it did. This is a cute little owl. I love his little fringy scarf. I believe I dyed this fabric myself. And he just turned out really cute on it. The little squirrel on his hat, and so cute. And he was just something super quick, just to like get the stitchy juices flowing again. So I have another finish. This is a Hade finish. This was also a stitch along. This was back when the bulletin board was active, and usually every year Michelle would do a stitch along where you would get one page. You could sign up and you would get one page every couple months or whatever, and the goal was to always finish by the end of the year. This one I did not finish by the end of the year, but I did get it finished. This was Christmas Presents. I believe the artist is Miles Pinkley, and I'm not a big Santa person, but he's just such a Coca-Cola Santa. I love him. And the detail is actually like really amazing. This one, I believe I also stitched 2/1 on 32 count. I was trying to find fabric count and thread count that I was really happy with. I did several, I think like 32 and 28 count, 2/1 full crosses, and they're amazing, don't get me wrong, but holy smokes, it's tough to get that needle through sometimes. So that one is that. Here is somewhat of a bigger finish. This is a chatelaine. Don't get too excited. This one is summer something. It's the Bell Pulls, and she did one for every season. This is the summer one. And holy smokes. Ugh. I can't go back any further. That is what pretty much the whole thing looks like. So I look like my eyeballs are going to pop out of my head. So that is what the top looks like. That honeycomb is amazing. That is all stitched in queen stitch, and it looks so good. Same with those honeycombs at the bottom. They're just so pretty and so shiny. Oop. I really love stitching this. The next one that I actually want to do is going to be the autumn one. I think it's called Autumn Dusk, if I remember correctly. I have everything for it. I think I finally decided on fabric. I just, again, need to make a start on it. Okay, so I have a couple Noras left. I have a Mira, and then I have 2 more big ones to show you. And then that is pretty much about it for what I have finished in the last couple years. So let's get her done. This one I actually finished first. This is this is Monk's Hood by Nora Corbett. I stitched this on some hand-dyed fabric that my amazing friend Kim sent me, and she's just perfect for it. I held on to this fabric for the longest time because I just needed the best thing to put on it. And isn't she amazing? Oh, I love her on this. She's just got this like ethereal like vibe to her. I love her. And she's not heavily beaded like a lot of them. Like she's got a few down the center of her dress, some at the bottom, a few on her wings, but other than that, she is just stitched right up. And I love the way she turned out on this. Oh, amazing. And these mirror, like the small Noras, they stitch up pretty fast. Like as far as a design that size, like there's so much block stitching in them, and like if you get like somewhere they don't have a lot of skin and you decide to do 1/1 skin, they don't take that much time, which I love. The next one that I finished, and I am so grateful, I have a friend that actually had this chart. This is Tiger Lily by Nora Corbett, and I know this chart is super hard to find. I know it's retired, and I'm very lucky that I had a friend that had it, that lent it to me. And this fabric I hand dyed myself, and I just think she's perfect on it. And it's so funny because my friend stitched this as well, and she stitched hers on a purple fabric, and the wings look like 2 different colors, like mine compared to hers, and we stitched the exact same, like nobody changed anything. And her wings have like a bluish tint to it. It's kind of cool. But I did her skin 1/1. There isn't a lot of it. But I'm so happy. I love her headpiece. And she's just so cute. And again, this chart didn't take me very long to stitch once I actually like got busy stitching it. So okay, the next mirror that I have is my very first time that I tried doing a conversion. So this is the baker's wife, and if any of you are familiar with the chart, she has a blue, tealy, green dress on. It's got big bows in the front, and she's holding a cupcake in her hand. And as soon as I saw the chart, I'm like I knew instantly that I had to change it to like something very different. And while I love the style of it, it just was not my style. And like I say, this is the very first time I did a conversion for any Mira or anything like that, like an extreme conversion. I changed the colors in like the Durian Jones fantasy cell, and I've changed like colors in like some small stuff like that. But this was my first time converting something on a grander scale. And don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. There are things that I would definitely do different now, knowing kind of a little bit more about it, but I was so happy with how this turned out. And it when I saw the chart, I'm like, this is what it needs to look like, not how she charted it originally. So my mom and I have affectionately named her the Mortician's Wife, because she just, yeah. Anyways. So I kept her skin the same because she was charted to be very, very pale. I changed the hair to a white and gray. I put little skulls in her hair. I added the spider webs and the spiders. Instead of a cupcake, she is holding a skull in her hand. And of course I had to change her dress to blacks and burgundy because that just seemed much more fitting in my opinion. But I'm actually really happy with how she turned out. I don't know if I would ever want to do another conversion again. There was a lot of ripping out. The worst, it wasn't necessarily the color converting that was such a big issue, although I think in hindsight I would have reversed the colors in her dress. The big thing is I got rid of the bows in the front. I recharted the shadowing under her boobs and just got rid of the bows, and I feel like that could have been done a little bit better, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I really need to get her framed and up on my wall because she was a labor of love. So I'm just, yeah. The memories. And this is actually stitched on I'm not sure what it is, but it's a stamped fabric. So if you can see some modeling on the front, and then on the back it is all one color. So here's the back. I will show it. It's a disaster. There was a lot of frogging in this, but whatever. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So okay, the next two are some big ones. I know for sure I was working on these when I was floss tubing last, and I really should have ironed these ones prior to starting this video, but oh well, hindsight is 20/20. The first one is stitched on 28 count Lugana Monster Mash by Picture This Plus. I really like the fabric that I chose for this chart. I think it worked out perfectly for it. We'll see how this holds up. And this is the Halloween Cat Chatelaine. I really like how it turned out on the green fabric. I think the eyes, the cat eyes and the greens just pop so good on it. That top and the outer band was so much work. Oh my goodness. But it turned out so good. The center, always my favorite part of a chatelaine. Well, usually. And I just am so happy with it. These cats in the middle were a nightmare, complete nightmare. The thread that they called for was awful to work with. I would recommend anybody that is stitching this, change it to a really nice silk instead. You will be so much happier. I've given every person that is working on this the same advice, and yeah, it would be so much worth it. But I am so happy with it. You can see the crystals sparkling in the middle. And yeah. This was the second biggest chatelaine I've ever done completed. And like I say, I'm super happy with the fabric that I chose. I really think this is a great color for it. But okay, and now the grand finale is also another chatelaine. This one I had actually finished first before the Halloween Cat. But this is the Butterfly Lace chatelaine. I was working on this one for quite a few years because there was a lot of work in this guy. And oh, that's not working. Let's try it without the board. This is what it looks like finished. This was also so much work. The center is just amazing on this. And it's just so sparkly. The butterflies on the sides were all stitched 1/1. The border here has some specialty stitches in it. These are blackwork butterflies. They are just so pretty. And then the large butterfly, oh, I can't see anything. The large butterfly at the bottom. That one there. There's so much going on in this chart. It's so pretty. And this one I stitched on probably 28 count Queen Anne's lace. And 28 count just to make sure that the beads all fit properly, because it's pretty dense, especially in the center area. The beads are very, very dense. Yeah, and even with the 28 count, like, I still had a little bit of trouble getting everything to fit in properly, but anyways, so those are, wow, pretty much almost exactly an hour. Those are pretty much all of my cross stitch finishes. I do have a couple that I ended up giving away as gifts. If I remember, I will throw pictures of them up here for you, and if I can figure out how to do it, because it's been a while. Thank you so much for coming and joining me on my finish parade. Like I say, I apologize, the light is not very good. It's like probably 10 o'clock at night here, and yeah, just wanted to try and get something out there. Those are all my stitching finishes. If you are interested, I do have a couple knitting projects that were pretty significant for me to finish as well in this time period. So if you are interested, you are more than welcome to stay and look at those with me. If not, thank you so much for coming and looking at all my finishes. I have been busy. I have made some significant progress on some other charts and projects that I have. I have started some new things that I'm really excited about. I'm really hoping to get more into stitching every evening as the year goes on. I've been kind of up and down and very inconsistent with my stitching, which is why I kind of stopped doing Flosstube in the first place. Just for that and some other reasons and whatnot else. I won't get too much into it, but thank you so much for coming and joining me. I can't say that I will do regular videos going forward, but if you are interested in possibly seeing what else I'm working on and what I'm keeping busy with, please subscribe. If not, that's fine too. If you want to like this video, leave a comment. I would really appreciate it to know that somebody saw it. But thank you so much for joining. I'm going to show a couple knitting things, so if you're not interested, thank you so much for sticking it out for this hour. Hopefully you had some stitching and stuff. I had no idea it was going to be this long. So anyways, a few knitting things that I have finished. This one was probably my most, probably the hardest chart I've ever done. With knitting and whatnot else. There was just a lot going on with it. This is called the Wild Swan shawl. It is by Karen Markgard, and I'll just have to, it's a collaboration between two different designers. So this is what it looks like. And it is called Wild Swan. This is actually a free pattern, believe it or not, on Ravelry. I stitched this using a sheep's whirl called Morning Mukuroo, Mid-Morning Mukuroo or something. And it's amazing. I love the colors in it. There are so many beads on this thing. Like, this probably weighs a good like 5 pounds, the shawl. Like, between all the beadwork and all the lace, like, it's amazing. It almost feels like, would be like a weighted blanket almost. Not quite that heavy, but it kind of gives you that kind of secure feeling of whatever. But it's amazing. It's beautiful. I've yet to wear it because I'm terrified to wreck it, but it's probably like the most detailed thing I've ever knit before. So I did get that finished. This has been a more recent finish. Actually, the rest of these have been pretty recent, probably within the last year. This is a shawl by Amba. This was a mystery knit along. It was called the Ocean Moon Sal. Here we learned, well, I learned a new technique. It's called intarsia, and that's how you got the moons in it. It's not, there are no floats in the back for people that knit. There are no floats. You just attach your yarn and you secure it and you just go to town, and you don't have to carry your thread. It's kind of very cool. So I love the colors that I chose. These blues are just amazing. And the border is like this really cute like moon pattern. I love it. And the white thread has a bit of sparkle to it. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up on it, but I love it. It's so soft and squishy, and I get so many compliments on this one whenever I wear it because it's just so witchy. I love it. And she actually had another version that you could do where you just straight knit this top part. You didn't put the moons in it, and then afterwards you like embroidered and put beads on, and you kind of created like constellations. It was a very cool alternative for those that did not want to do the intarsia. So, but I love learning new things, and if I can do something kind of relatively small and learn something new, it's not so overwhelming. So I appreciate designers that can add new techniques into their projects, right? So this other one is also by Amba. This was also a mystery knit along. I really like her charts. Like, I really love them. And they're just a lot of fun to do, and I've never been disappointed yet. So this is a biggie. This one I was definitely not able to get done in the not allotted time frame, but in the period of the stitch along or knit along. This is the Supernova mystery knit along, and that is what the center looks like. And you start in the center and you create this like starburst type pattern, and then you go out and you make these like huge wings. This is such a cool pattern. I love it. And I like tying one end in a knot because I think it just adds a little character to it. But you create these like huge wings, and it looks so cool when it's on. It's just, and then some lace at the bottom. I don't know. I like shawls that kind of like switch between different colors and different patterns and different techniques and stuff like that. I just think that they make for a very interesting wear when you have them on. So, and then the last one that I did, this is probably one of my favorite shawls ever. This again is another big one. This is by Laura Nelkin. This was really interesting. I really enjoyed this one. I never would have picked this pattern if I saw how it was finished, but I wear this thing like all the time. And this was her Open Minds mystery knit along. And you start in the center part and you create this like holy stripe thing, and then you end up dropping stitches here, which just is such a cool look. And then you go off and you do these massive wings again, and there's lace and beading, and just, it's so cool. Again with the, and then you go into the bottom and you do this like beautiful like lace thing to kind of pull it all together. And it's just, it's so big. Oh my goodness. Like that's my wingspan, and I still have that much shawl left. It's ridiculous, but I love it. It's so soft and it's so squishy, and it's just, I love it. If anybody's ever interested in doing a mystery knit along, what I always do is I always look at the designer's other patterns, and if I like the overall look that they've done in the past, I will go for the mystery knit along. If I'm not interested in the look of their other patterns, it's usually not something I'll take a gamble on. But the ones that I've done, I've been so happy with. I'm actually doing another couple, another one by Amba. I'm stitching it with Kim as well, who is Kim Stitchery on Instagram. If you want, go follow her. She's my partner in crime and I drag her into all my shenanigans. So thank you so much for hanging out for this video. It was a long one. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. So thank you so much, and hopefully I will do this again soon. I actually have a whip parade that I would like to do. I might see what time it is and might go forward with that, but the lighting is really not very good. But again, we'll see what happens. So, but thank you so much for joining in with this. I'm going to try and get this off of my camera and upload it onto my computer. Hopefully I will be able to get it up onto YouTube. And yeah, we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.